In this example, we're going to evaluate changes in the slicing capabilities in Tecplot 2012 or Tecplot 360 2012 R1. And you can see we're looking at our typical slicing. You can see we have a relatively large domain, and our slicing really extends beyond what's shown around our vehicle. Now, often we're more interested in off-body pressures, so we're more interested in really evaluating what's going on near the object of interest. So by using, in this case, what we call slice constraining, we can, in essence, encapsulate an area of interest using a box, and we can move the box where we want in the domain. Once we have that centered appropriately, there's a number of things we might want to do to show the information or show how things are changing, and that includes looking at different contour variables, or in this case using it a line and flood representation. I'll add an additional contour level. We want to see some of the fine structure, and we're going to move this slice onto the wing. And if I hit Control F, it will bring it closer, and what I'm going to do is change into a Z slice. Now, looking at the Z slice, you can see that in fact still we have some effects which we want to zero in on, and that's around the shock, which you can see coming off, which is probably going to lead to some separation. Now, one can add interactively stream traces, or in this case contour levels. In addition, you can find out what the maximum value is. In this case, it's about 1.3 or so. And we're going to take advantage of that because we're going to go into the contour. And on the contour, we're going to adjust what's shown on screen using a color cutoff. And you can really say, I'm going to cut it off above a particular value. Now, in this case, I think you can choose something like 0.8. But if you use 0.8 and you're not seeing enough of the contour, you can say change that to 0.95. And you can really spend the time trying to figure out how to get it to the right set of values, and it looks like that's more or less okay, because it's identifying the area of interest. Now, we want to use a continuous flood in that area, but because we're looking at a relatively small subset, we want to change this to, say, 0.8 to 0.95. So we're going to change the banding region to be, or the coloring region in the continuous color, to be within a small part of the domain. And this allows us then to evaluate that shock across the surface of the wing. And that's how one can more effectively interact with the domain in Tecplot 360 2012 R1.